Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture.
And don't forget, if you want to listen to the news as a podcast, you can do so by searching for WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. But coming up today, a whole host of stories, including could WrestleMania 36 still be postponed?
Got official statements from Tampa Bay regarding the WrestleMania 36 situation.
An update on the future for Raw and SmackDown.
The Raw rating was up for this week's show in the Performance Center.
An update for the future of the Hall of Fame.
Could this night's 2 nights NXT feature no matches at all?
The real reason Becky Lynch had that truck on Monday Night Raw.
WWE are filing a big cease and desist against an indie group.
We are here. Please don't call us heroes. This is the news.
But we are going to kick things off by something non-WrestleMania 36 related for a change. We're going to talk about a little bit of interesting activity that went down on WWE's official Twitter account last night. Got it right here on my phone. What happened was there was a big change to the entire @WWE account. So the avatar went blank, the banner went blank. They changed the little bio thing to expose watching with spaced out letters and a little thing. They then tweeted out saying the following in this weird font that you can hopefully see on screen right now. It's all upside down. The truth will be heard. Interesting stuff. It was up for about 10 minutes before it vanished, but that was certainly, everything went back to normal, but it was certainly enough time to get the internet buzzing, to get people talking about it, to go viral. Everyone paying attention to this. The WWE account has something like 50 gazillion followers, so of course it got noticed. Now this obviously led to immediate speculation over, is it an angle? Is it maybe related to the glitches that have been on SmackDown? Is it, did somebody hack the account? What's going on here? What's the scoop? Well, that little rascal, Matthew Hardy, he's at it again, ladies and gentlemen. He tweeted the following, saying, the truth will be heard, quote, Damascus, in the aftermath. So Matt Hardy's over here going, here's your pot, I'm stirring it up, baby. WWE obviously haven't commented on the situation. Was it a hack? Was it Matt Hardy? Was it the glitch? What do you think, my man?
I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but I said Matt Hardy leaving WWE was at work, and yet again, potentially, I have been proved right. Damn, it feels good to be right.
Feels good to be a gangster as well.
Oh, it's a work, it's a work. I always say it and I'm always right. It's a work. Matt Hardy is returning to the WWE. Although, yeah, it's probably just going to be related to the glitches, to be honest.
It's probably the glitches, isn't it? Mustafa Ali coming back.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him a bit later in the video.
Let us know what you think it means, though, in the comment section below. And, you know, feel free to praise me for, once again, always being correct. Calling works in the WWE. Good work, Agent Ambrose. Right, next up, let's talk a little bit about WrestleMania 36 and the ongoing situation in the world, of course, because it seemed to be all sorted. We were announcing over the last few days, of course, that WrestleMania 36 still going to be going ahead behind closed doors, although Dave Meltzer says that is not 100% because he says there is still a chance that WrestleMania might not go down on that date, April 5th, of course, depending on how current events develop, with the situation obviously, of course, expected to worsen over coming days, weeks and months. So they're going to kind of play it by ear. Yes, right now they have that date set in mind, but these things could change, and Meltzer also says the reason why that they didn't, they did put it in the Performance Center rather than just sort of postponing it, because they couldn't be sure of future dates. If they'd moved it to June or July and then things hadn't changed, basically they would just have to keep postponing WrestleMania, which is kind of what we suggested. But yeah, it does make sense that it's not just going ahead regardless of what happens with the situation, because in the next week or so things could worsen drastically.
Yeah, man, this situation is developing by the hour, and things can change at the drop of a hat. So we'll see how it goes. Basically, it's a thing to monitor, it's a thing to pay attention to. It's interesting that it could still not go ahead in the PC on the 5th of April, but again, you wonder if maybe they've already taped some of the matches. That would be a way to safeguard against this, wouldn't it? If you have all the content taped, you can piece it together, you can just show it on the network at the time. Hey, man, it wouldn't be Mania, it wouldn't feel like Mania, but that's the situation we're in. You gotta make compromises, you gotta make sacrifices. I hope it goes down live on the 5th of April. I want to watch my 7-hour wrestling show from the PC and so forth, because it's going to be really weird. But escapism is important in these times, man. It's good to see that, you know, there are all these health risks and so forth, but, you know, we should trust the people making the decisions to make those decisions, and we do need some form of entertainment. Otherwise, we're all going to go bloody loopy. So here's hoping we get a WrestleMania or something at least to tide us over.
One thing we can guarantee right now with the current rules that are in place, there ain't going to be any battle royals on that show.
No, hell no. You can't fit 30 people in that room, baby. Anyway, I've got an official statement here, actually, from the Tampa Bay local organizing committee surrounding WrestleMania 36, just tying a nice little bow on the Tampa Bay thing here. They say, and I quote, "Our community has waited 36 years to host Mania, and while we are saddened that this unforeseen situation has led to today's announcement, this is totally the right call for the safety and security of everyone involved. A huge thank you to all of our local leaders and our friends at WWE as we collectively worked through the unprecedented fluidity of the last few weeks. The Team Tampa Bay WWE partnership has never been stronger. Also, the Raymond James Stadium, which was originally going to host Mania, has issued an update, so if you bought tickets, those can be refunded from the point of sale. Ticketmaster are doing that automatically, but if you bought them directly from the building, you might have to wait a little bit longer as their ticket office is currently closed. They're safeguarding the health and well-being of their employees. So, not necessarily anything new here apart from the refund info, but we're moving on from Tampa. Nice to see that partnership hasn't been harmed by what's happened, and maybe, hey, 37's probably going to be LA. Maybe 38, they'll go, okay, let's do Tampa.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. More developments when it comes to Raw and SmackDown, the forthcoming Raw and SmackDowns, which were set to be based in the Smoothie King Center, which I love, in New Orleans, LA, and the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas.
Lil Dicky.
They are going to be, shout out to Lil Dicky, they are going to be moved, of course, to the Performance Center due to the current situation. This is all, of course, due to Dave Meltzer. No real surprises there.
Yeah, you kind of expect that, right? This is going to be the future for a while. Personally, we'd like to see a few more matches on these shows, but, that's for them to decide. That they have more information than we do. So.
I'd love to go to the Smoothie King Center.
Oh, that's awesome, isn't it? I love the name of some of these American places, like the Dunkin' Donuts Arena.
We've got a few good ones, or we did. I'm not sure if it still is there. We have some good ones in terms of random football stadiums here in England. There is, I can guarantee, or there was at one point, a team used to play at Kit Kat Crescent.
Kit Kat Crescent. I've got a good one from north of the border.
Go on.
Livingston, their stadium. Once they played in a building called Almondvale. Now, the Tony Macaroni Arena.
That sounds like something you'd make up to pop the boys in the office.
It does. Tony Macaroni, an Italian restaurant chain in Scotland, maybe elsewhere as well. But of course, what do you call the Tony Macaroni Arena? The Spaghetti Had. Brilliant, Manchester City. Anyway, shall we do the
speed round?
Speed round, because we got 5 more stories, baby. Raw rating. Good, numbers up. Highest rating, highest viewership since the 17th of February. 2.34 million viewers. Things actually went down considerably on last week, actually, for the Steve Austin segment in the third hour, which is weird. But shows that the pool of the Performance Center shows the appeal of these things is still there after SmackDown, despite going up against fierce competition from the news networks, which all would have had busy nights, obviously, with the ongoing global situation. So, good news.
And according to my sources, Monday Night Raw has changed its tagline to, what else are you going to do? Go out? Let's tell you about the Hall of Fame. Of course, we reported yesterday about TakeOver Tampa and Hall of Fame not obviously happening over WrestleMania weekend now, potentially being incorporated into NXT's program when it comes to TakeOver Tampa. Hall of Fame, still a bit unsure. But according to the daughter of the late, great British Bulldog, who of course was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, plans are, as of right now, to move the Hall of Fame ceremony to SummerSlam weekend, which would be incredibly apt for someone like the British Bulldog if the situation improves. But again, that's plans as we speak, and we don't know how long this current situation is going to go on for.
Yeah, exactly. SummerSlam weekend, I believe, is in Boston, so certainly a city that can handle a big weekend of shows and stuff. TD Garden, baby. NXT tonight. It's going to be a weird layout. Again, this is according to Dave. He tweeted the following last night. Confirmed no live matches on NXT tomorrow. Studio setting, interviews, personality profiles, old footage. So you're going to get Johnny Gargano and Mauro Ranallo going, I'm sorry, Mauro, after your questions. We're going to get highlights, you're going to get some takeover stuff, we're going to get some vignettes, going to get some interviews, going to get some promos. Interesting. I think a lot of people would have expected the empty Performance Center show again, but we'll see how it pans out, man. WWE, when they do these things, they're always quite cool, so it'll be a fun show.
And speaking of NXT, we'll be previewing it a little bit later on today.
Oh yeah, brother.
And you may remember Becky Lynch's weird truck that she had on Monday Night Raw.
You were a big fan of that one, weren't you, pal?
I hated it, but then again, I seem to think that WWE are doing stuff to make me deliberately hate Becky Lynch ahead of WrestleMania and hope that Shayna Baszler chokes the life out of her on the grandest stage of them all. But anyway, the reason behind that, according to PWI, is that it was going to be a big truck that used throughout sort of WrestleMania weekend. It was going to be there, I do believe, at Access, and it was going to be part of her WrestleMania 36 entrance, presumably driving it down to the ring, perhaps. It would have been awful, that. It was so cringe.
Would that not have clashed with Bray Wyatt's monster truck?
Possibly.
Definitely going to happen. With spinning fiend faces on the wheels.
Oh, don't get me excited. And apparently the original plan for the segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin, which obviously drastically changed and involved, and actually, in my opinion, changed for the better. Byron Saxton, hell yeah! And getting kicked in the bollocks, great stuff. Yeah. It was originally going to be basically Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens just stunnering everyone in Rollins and his gaggle of bastards, basically.
That would have been fun. But
spectacular.
You know what they can do with that Becky Lynch idea for WrestleMania? They can truck off. Anyway, the last story of the day, that was terrible. I apologise.
Never apologise.
WWE have filed a cease and desist to Freelance Wrestling, the Chicago-based indie group, over the logo for their upcoming show, which is called In Our Warehouse.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I thought they might be in trouble.
You have a little look at these logos. It's very similar to In Your House. This was revealed by Mikey Blanton, sorry Mikey, who runs Black Label Pro, who we talked about yesterday with our fundraiser, check that out, who says, looks like the crack legal team over at WWE sent out another cease and desist, this time to Freelance over their In Our Warehouse event. Apparently that's going to hurt all their In Your House WWE Network views. Petty AF, damn the man, save the empire. This is quite notable. Obviously, it is a very petty thing to do, as Mikey points out there. Also, Mustafa Ali, very closely connected with Freelance, former ace of that indie promotion up in Chicago. He tweets about them all the time, actually, endorses them all the time. So, let's see how this one goes, man. I mean, the logos are very similar, but like WWE, man, it's like, you know what Freelance have done here? They've taken a speck of sand and thrown it at your windshield. It does nothing. Relax. Chill.
Let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, if you want to get in touch, first question today comes from F$S, or better known as Boats and Hose 5520 on Twitter, who says, with the lack of stars and a lot of replays for filler on these empty arena shows, do you think now is the time for guys like Gable, Ali, Eric Young, Titus O'Neil, etc. to step up and ask to work these shows and show that they can put on good matches?
I mean, the concept, the idea of that is solid, right? Mm-hmm. This guy, AJ Styles, is taking the show. That's a bad example. He was on the show. But say if a bunch of main event headliner guys are taking the show off, it is theoretically a chance for underused guys or guys who haven't been used particularly well to come through and show what they can do. But at the same time, health and safety first, baby. If Eric Young is sitting there thinking, yeah, I mean, this is a good opportunity, but at the same time, there's a chance I might get sick, and then maybe my family gets sick, and so forth. That comes first.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do agree that if there's a space, if they're just like, what are we going to put here, another video package or a match? Like, I've seen people tweeting about how good a series Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin have been having on Main Event. Even if you don't have to have them there, just show clips of that, because I'll be honest, no one's watching main events. You might as well showcase just some good workers.
What if you had guys at home like filming little promos, filming little vignettes? You could have some cool, like, obviously not Broken Universe because Matt Hardy's seemingly gone, tinfoil hat, it's a work, but you know, stuff like that would be cool, right? Here's Cedric Alexander, here's what he's doing, man. He's just hanging out, he's
show some bits of, like, you know, wrestlers you might have missed. Here's some guys from main event or 205 Live. Give them a bit of exposure anyway. L Thursb, I hope I've got that right, on Twitter says, is there any chance the Exalted one, which of course is going to be revealed tonight on Dynamite, that's going to be weird,
in an empty building,
is Will Ospreay? I know he's busy in Japan, but also his girlfriend is in AEW, B. Priestley, of course, and imagine the curveball, never seen him but heard so much awesome stuff. He is spectacular. Do you think he could be the Exalted one?
I like the idea of Will Ospreay showing up in AEW. I think he'd be a phenomenal fit, but I think it's impossible.
He's doing great stuff in New Japan.
Exactly, man. He's contracted to New Japan. He's under a full-time deal with them. Now, obviously, we've seen some crossover with Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho, but the idea has always been that Moxley and Jericho are AEW guys first, who are allowed to go to New Japan because they've... I know Jericho was there before and Moxley was there before, but they're allowed to go over to New Japan. Ospreay's the other way around. He's signed there. I don't think the New Japan would sign off on that.
Who do you reckon it's going to be tonight, Brody?
Brody Lee, baby. Yeah.
I sense it's probably going to be Brody Lee, but imagine if it was someone like Marty Scurll.
Imagine the disappointment if it's Christopher Daniel. Like, no disrespect, Christopher Daniels is awesome, but like, it would just be such a letdown after the Brody Lee.
It's going to be so weird tonight when they reveal it, and I mean, it will be like spooky silence because no one's there. So who knows?
Yeah.
Final question today comes from Everything Wrestling on Twitter. I thought we'd like this one. This is from a while back, and I meant to mention this before, but I've saved it for now anyway. What is your favourite WrestleMania theme song? Mine is Big Time by Peter Gabriel, used for WrestleMania 22. Good choice.
So, for me, there's only 3 choices to this, right? There's Big Time, which you've just mentioned. That's at number 3. There's got the one from our goddamn childhoods. Well, us, because we're like 30 and stuff. My Way by Limp Bizkit.
Yes.
WrestleMania X7. Beautiful. But the undisputed, undefeated, no choice but this one for number 1.
The song of WrestleMania last year, despite the fact it wasn't the song of WrestleMania. It's all we listened to over WrestleMania weekend, wasn't it?
The most played song in WhatCulture history is My Brother in Baldness, Lunch Money Lewis, Pitbull. It's green light, baby.
Give me the green light. It's so good. Also,
I'm ready to go.
It gives us a good question as well, saying if you could change the outcome of any WrestleMania match, which one would it be?
God damn.
Just a little curveball right at the end there. Oh, okay.
Oh wow, man.
Austin turning heel.
Austin turning heel would be a good one. WrestleMania 2000, when they staved off on The Rock's big coronation moment to instead do it on Backlash with the Steve Austin return, that was weird, and they just kind of closed the show on a fart. So I'm sure there are better ones that I could come up with, but that's one.
Maybe we'll do that as a round table. I like that. We've got lots of stuff we need to
get the content out, baby. So.
I like that. We'll maybe use that as a get the table a little bit later on. Let's move on to today's and finally, and a shout out to a guy we've used on numerous occasions here, Only Lorcan. Just spectacular on Twitter. If you're not following him already, go and follow him. _Star Destroyer on Twitter. Just tweeted late last night. Just going to kick my own ass. Because, of course, the current situation. Love you, Oni. Never change.
Oni's the one guy I would trust to thoroughly kick the current situation's ass. So.
And have a wrestling match with himself.
Yeah, you could probably get a 4-star match out of the current situation.
Unquestionably. Right, let's know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself, Andy Murray, and Michael Sidgwick, who's braved it into the office, are going to be previewing the Wednesday Night War a little bit later on today. Plus, let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow him at.
Follow me at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for happy, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be churning out the content for you guys. Let's go.
Yeah, you can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE, as I said. But for now, don't call us heroes. My thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
We're superheroes.